Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to World of Tanks Blitz official YouTube stream. Here we go live. My name is Alexandra, and today we are going to talk about the Reforged update Ultra Test. So stay tuned, sit down, make some coffee or tea, and let's talk about the big things. So today with me, as usual, Tony. Welcome to the stream.
What's up, guys? Extremely excited to be here today. So, as Alexandra mentioned, we had a huge things to discuss today. We have a lot of very important guests who have a lot to share with you. So, Alex, are you excited?
I'm very excited. I'm a bit nervous, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone's nervous, players are nervous, because they maybe don't fully understand what's going on, and we're here to explain it, right?
Yeah, right. So the main goal for us today is to make things clear. So we will explain what's going on right now, what's going to be on the Ultra Test, how the things would work, what features will be present during our Ultra Test, and we'll explain everything that you have asked below our trailer on YouTube. So let's start from the big guest today.
Yeah, before we start with the guest, let's maybe just sit on a structure a bit for the stream.
Yep,
so,
sure.
Guys, brace yourself. Today's stream is gonna be long, maybe like a couple hours or something. So we'll start with 3 important guests from our leadership studio, from guys that make decisions, who can like tell you more about the bigger vision of like what we are doing and what we want to achieve. And then after we talk to them and they answer some of the questions, me and Alex, we're going to spend the rest of the time with you, just showing all the features, all the systems, explaining the reasoning behind, telling you more, helping you dive into context. So when the Ultra Test kicks off on January 24th, you're like more aware of like what's going on and how to provide proper feedback, which we are very much looking forward to. And now, let's do it.
Yeah. So hi again to everyone who is joining our live stream. Hi chat. I will be watching your questions, trying to pick some. And let's welcome Tane, the general manager of our studio, on our stream. Hi Tane.
Hey guys, good to see you.
Glad to see you.
Sorry that we're in Cyprus rather than up there with you guys, but we had some other stuff scheduled and we were spending some time talking to Victor, so we'll do this remotely for now.
I think it's fine. We can hear you well, we can see you well, so it's enough.
Good.
So,
okay.
Tane, you're a general manager of the studio, so you're the man who can tell us the big picture. So why are we doing it? What are we doing and what are...
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead, mic is yours.
Yep. Thank you. So look, I think before we get too into the, what are we doing and how's all this work and all that, I want to talk about how we actually went about the announcement and where I think we went wrong. Because to be clear, we didn't do this the right way. We didn't handle this as well as we should have, and I think we're all well aware of that. The comments from everybody, whether it's on the YouTube stream originally or whether it's on Reddit or a bunch of other places, look, we've all been reading these things, and we've been reading them. All of our devs are reading them. Everybody's been reading this stuff. I've been reading all this stuff. And, it's very clear, right? There's a bunch of people who are really, really upset and really bothered about a bunch of things. And I think, when you look at it, we've been working on something for a long time, all these changes with Unreal and all that. And, we kept really quiet for a really long time. And then we came out with a kind of a teaser style video to announce a test. Actually, the first in a series of tests, and I think we sent the wrong message. I think we gave the wrong impression about where we are. Sorry about this. About where we are in the process and about what it is that we see. And frankly, even a video that doesn't necessarily represent some of the features in a way that's necessarily consistent with what you'd see in the actual build. Right? Again, all this is super obvious in retrospect. It's super easy to say this afterwards, but in retrospect, having a couple of very bright, super colorful kind of commanders sitting on top of the tanks like it's some kind of a Mario Kart exercise, probably not the best way to introduce that. So we'll talk about a bunch of the key things that we've seen and some of the critical feedback that we've gotten and what we're thinking about that. But I think, before I get to that, I think I want to talk about what's the right way to do this versus what we did. The work we've been doing on Unreal, why did we start making these big changes? Because a bunch of people have been asking that, right? Why are you changing crew? Why are you doing all this stuff? We didn't ask for this. And from the player standpoint, the update with the Unreal Engine and all that is an update. From a development standpoint, it's a completely new development, right? We have to build this from scratch using a new engine. And so since we're doing all that work anyway, we looked at this and we said, if we're gonna rebuild this stuff, let's take a bunch of the stuff that we've seen and felt like have been issues, things we don't feel good about for a really long time, and instead of rebuilding them as they are in Unreal and then turning around and making changes over time, let's make the changes, right? Let's not build it and then turn around and immediately start rebuilding it, which is a perfectly fine thing in theory. Where we went wrong is we didn't bring the community along for the ride. We didn't tell everybody, we didn't tell people what we were thinking, right? What we were, why we wanted to make these changes. We didn't give people an insight into our thought processes about what's working, what's not working, where do we want to go, where do we want to change. And look, from a player perspective, we've been super, super concerned from the very beginning. From the first time we started talking about this, we knew that the core gameplay was sacred, right? We don't want to do anything that's going to screw up that moment-to-moment battle experience because it's the thing that people love the most about the game. So we didn't want to miss that. We didn't want to make changes to that. We wanted to make sure. So from the beginning, we've been testing. From the very first time we had even a prototype of a build, we've been testing it with players, doing a bunch of user research and all that stuff. A lot of these other systems around the game, we kind of figured, well, when those things, they take a while, they take, getting sets built out and getting all the commanders built out and all this, it's going to take a while. And when we get to the point where we're testing, we'll test and we'll get the feedback. But we didn't take you guys, the audience, the community, along on the journey with us and explain what we were doing and what we were thinking. And that absolutely is a huge mistake. And we have to do that. And I can tell you now, again, before we get into more of the specifics, that's what we're going to do from now on, right? This is a change. We realize that we have to change that. We have to be much more transparent and make it a dialogue with you guys, or else we're going to keep walking into this situation over and over again, and none of us want to do that. So that's kind of that's the first thing, right? Broadly, before we get into any of the specifics. To start to dig in a little bit more to some of the issues, I think without getting into all of them, clearly the biggest one that we've heard, I think by far, right, the biggest negative comment was around the commanders. And it was in two parts, right? A bunch of people said, what the hell is with all of the Fortnite in here, right? Like, why do these guys look like they've just, been attacked by a paintball tournament, right? And what is going on with all this? This isn't my Blitz. These aren't my kind of commanders. And then there were, comments and points about the system stuff. On the first part, on the visuals, look, we have a test coming. We have the ultra test happening. We want to get feedback from everybody on a bunch of things, but to be clear, without waiting for the ultra test feedback, we hear you and we understand and we agree. We went too far with it. Look, our favorite buddy, the captain, right? Everybody likes the captain from Mad Games and all those experiences, and he's out there a little bit. He's not exactly your typical tank commander, right? But instead of him being sort of at our outer bound of where things were, we went further, and frankly, as we got further in, we went too far along. And so we're going to be making some changes to the visuals around commanders. We get that feedback, we hear it, we agree with it. We will share with you when we have something more concrete to show and talk about. We will do that. But we're already there. We've heard it, we get it, we're with you. We will make changes to that. We understand that we crossed the line and we went too far. On the system side, I think it's a longer discussion. I think we need to do a better job of explaining to you guys what it is that we felt like was wrong with the crew system as it existed to begin with, what it is that we think we need to do in order to fix kind of some of the core issues that exist on the crew side, and then talk about the specifics of how it is that we plan on making those changes, which currently is in the commanders. And we'll do that. Andre, when he comes on here, we'll talk a little bit about more of that, and I think we'll have a lot more detail coming in along the way for people. So please, stay tuned for that. I think, and Tony, Sasha, the other thing I want to say to everybody before we kind of get back into things is this test. Again, I think the other way that the video set the wrong expectation is it looks like a trailer, right? It looks like a trailer that you put out like basically right before you're going live with stuff, right? This test is not the test that we're going to do before we release this update, before we release Reforged. This is the first of several tests that we've already had planned that are going to keep going, right? So this is one of many tests. We want your feedback, good, bad, or ugly. We want to get the feedback. We're reading all of it. I guarantee you, everybody at the studio painfully feels and hears the negative feedback. We do care. I know a lot of guys are saying we don't look, we don't listen, we don't pay attention, we don't care. Nothing could be further from the truth. Everybody from me on down cares deeply about this. So, but we want your feedback, not just based off of a video that, was well-intentioned, but poorly executed and poorly perceived, but off of the actual build itself, right? So please come in, play the test. Like I said, it's the first of several tests we've got planned. Play it, give us your feedback, let us know what you think. We'll take that, we'll take all the data that we're collecting during the test. We will then, again, like I said earlier, we will do a much better job of talking to you guys, of explaining what do we see out of that, what are we hearing, what's the data telling us, what's the sentiment, right? And what do we plan to do to evolve as we go from first test to next test to next test, and on the way ultimately to the actual launch of Reforged. So please stay with us. We hear you, we understand. Have faith and let us win back your trust, and we'll do better.
Thank you, Thane. I think it's a great start, and players now have more context to be aligned with us further down the road.
Yeah, I've been checking the live chat while Tane, he was speaking. First of all, players, thank you for the transparency. I believe that's...
Yep, I wish we had more to begin with, but I'm glad to hear it's appreciated now.
Yeah, and so players are ready to take part in the test, and they are ready to give us a chance. That's very good.
That's all we ask for, I guess, for now.
Good. So. Yeah. I will say the other thing that's important for everybody to remember, there's a bunch of things that are not yet represented in the build. I know, one of the things that there's been a lot of chatter about is like, hey, are you taking away win rate? Are you killing all my stats? We're not killing your stats. We're not killing your win rate. We're not moving away from that. You're not going to see it in the build right now. That's not because we're intending to remove it. It's because this is still an in-development build. We're testing things at a certain level of completion. It will be there. It will be there. Don't worry, right? But remember also that the other thing that we're testing, right, is performance, because it's a new engine, it's new tech. That means new bugs, compatibility issues, whatever, right? So our first thing that we're doing, as much as getting data around design and features and all that, is actually making sure, does it run? Does it stand up? When we put tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in at the same time, does everything that we're doing stand up to the crush of players, right? So, you know, I expect that there's going to be some things that can come up, some technical issues and things like that can happen. But and we've got Pavel, I know will come on and talk more tech a little bit later in the stream as well, about where we are and plans and things like that. But remember, you know, this first test, it's about technical performance and about your feedback and about your fears and your thoughts and your hopes and what you like and what you hate and everything else in between. So, you know, and again, that's why this is the first of several planned tests, because we got a lot to get through. So thank you guys for coming on, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, sounds good.
Thank you.
So maybe we can consider a couple more general questions regarding like the big vision, the big picture, the reasoning behind. So one of the questions I think players would like to know answer for is like, why do we believe that Reforged update is a good thing for current Blitz in general and in this specific moment in particular?
Sure. So I think, you know, there's a few things. The first thing, why did we move to Unreal, right? The engine that we're based on, right, which was our own native hand-rolled thing, right? Man, I remember when I first started playing Blitz, right? I came into the company after Blitz had started, and I was amazed at that point, 10 years ago, it was the first time I was playing a game on mobile that felt like a game. Like, it's not an alarm clock simulator, right? You don't press a button so you can come back 5 minutes later and press another button and come back a half hour, harvest some stuff, press another button, and oh crap, I'm out of energy and I can't do anything, right? It was a real game, a competitive game, and I loved it. It was awesome. And it was super performant on this huge range of devices, right? It's one of the downsides to it is that, especially from a team standpoint, it's very like developer intensive and engineer heavy. So designers, if they had ideas about what to do and about things they wanted to prototype or changes they wanted to make, they basically would have to write a document, send it over to an engineer or a group of engineers. The engineers would build some stuff, and then you'd look at it, and it was all it was slow for iterations, right? Which means that it was slower for us as a team to be able to make updates and changes that we wanted to. We had a harder time stepping back if we found like, hey, we did something and then we made a mistake, right? Changing things around with the UI and a bunch of other stuff was incredibly painful and difficult. And I know, again, there's a lot of people who have not great things to say about the current UI, and to be clear, that is something that we're going to keep doing, to keep working on and taking that on board. But we didn't have these, the ability to move as fast as we wanted to. And so these changes that we're making with going with the Unreal tech opens up a whole new world for us, and I think will let us be more responsive, move faster, get more stuff done, and just increase kind of the general pace of things. It's also really, really damn pretty, right? And I think even a lot of the people who are the most upset about the style of the visuals, right? A lot of people are saying they really appreciate, the graphics and the physics and all these things that are coming along as well. And so that's another big reason we're doing it. Blitz has been alive for 10 years. We want to make sure it's alive for another 10 years and 10 years to come, and so on, right? So we have to keep pushing forward and experimenting and pushing the boundaries. We also need to make sure that we're continuing to build a game that, that appeals to broad groups and continues to, bring in new audiences and all that. Again, the core community is always going to be where it starts and is always going to be incredibly important to us, right? But at the same time, of course, we are trying to do things to be able to continue to build on, and tastes change over time. Audiences have different views and all these kinds of things. So a lot of the stuff that we are doing, it's kind of we've been following a trend as Blitz has moved. I've used an analogy with a lot of people internally here that if World of Tanks, WoT PC is like the Marvel Avengers movies, right? The Avengers series, super intense, epic, gritty, hardcore, awesome. Blitz has kind of over time become more and more kind of the Guardians of the Galaxy of it, right? A little more irreverent, a little more tongue-in-cheek, a little more dead mouse, right? A little more Captain. And that's been a place that we've been moving. Again, clearly with the Commander's visuals and styles and all that, we went too far. We drank too much of our own Kool-Aid, and we need to reestablish the line. But a lot of the things that we're doing are keeping that trend going, because we want to be a game that is first and foremost focused around the fun and the joy of controlling these big, powerful machines and being able to do awesome stuff with them. That's the intent of what Reforged is supposed to do, right? Give people a new set of cool stuff to play and have fun with and experiment with. And that, I think, is what we are overall, again, with some clear things that we have to work on. I think that's the thing that we are actually on course to do, and that's the thing that we need to keep doing.
Thank you, Thane. I think this absolutely makes sense.
Yep. So just to make things again transparent and clear, the chat is spamming with no commanders in the update. But again, guys, that's only ultra test.
Only the first one.
Only the first
right.
one. And as Thane mentioned, we are listening.
Yeah, Thane, before we say...
Look, like I said...
Go ahead.
Sorry, we want your feedback, not just off of a video. We want it off of the game, right? So, and listen, if your feedback is awful coming off of the game, great, tell us, right? We need to hear that. We need to get that feedback. But, stay with us through this. Play, comment, give us everything, right? Both barrels. And we'll take it on, and like I said, we'll make sure that, unlike what we were doing before, we're going to be a lot more transparent about what we do with it going forward. What we hear, what we think, what we agree with, what we don't agree with. If we don't agree, where do we go? How do we do, right? We will do that.
Yeah, we're absolutely open for the feedback, and no matter if it's positive or negative. So stay with us, test it, and let's do it together. Thane, thank you very much for joining. I think you managed to relieve most of the general concerns, and hopefully players are now ready for the dialogue, for the communication, for testing, for leaving feedback and discussing it back and forth. So thank you very much, and let's see what happens next.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you guys, and thank everybody watching.
Okay, that was pretty impressive.
I feel my
palms are sweating?
Palms are sweating because I'm reading the chat. It's just running, and people are really spamming with no commanders.
I think we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll have the discussion. We'll have several discussions regarding commanders with players, with product owners, with game designers, with everyone. Starting with players, of course.
Yeah.
So I think Thane gave us a great idea that we're fully open for communication. The only thing we're asking so far is that you join the ultra test, stress test it, let me put it frankly, test the shit out of it, and give us your feedback, no matter if it's positive or negative. But as soon as it's constructive, we'll take it.
Absolutely. Hi once again to everyone who is watching our live stream and the chat. Hi to the players, to the moderators, to the our community contributors and bloggers. Welcome to the chat. I hope that this stream will be helpful, useful, and will answer most of your questions. So again, for us, the goal for today's stream is to discuss, describe, and explain how the update is going to be on the Ultra test. So
yeah, let's just stress this point one more time, that
Ultra test.
things that we're gonna show and discuss today is something that goes to the first Ultra test, one of several, and nowhere near close to full release.
Absolutely.
So it's all subject to discussion, change, updates, tuning, fine-tuning, you name it. So, are we ready to proceed with the next guest?
We are ready to proceed with the next guest, of course. So let's welcome to our studio the product director of Tanks Blitz, Mr. Andrei. Join us.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello, guys.
Hey, how are you doing?
Pretty nervous, actually. You know, as Thane said, we've read all the comments. We actually reading the comments of this stream, so we are nervous and excited.
Okay, so fair enough. So Andrei, we have already discussed commanders because that's a pretty hot topic. That is the main point of discussion on all our socials, not only on YouTube, but on Discord, on Instagram, and TikTok. But commanders is not the only one feature that we are releasing on our Reforged update on the Ultra test. So the guys who were attentively watching the trailer on our YouTube, they have noticed the gameplay changes, the features like sets. So could you give us the general overview of the studio approach to this update?
Yeah, sure. So the Reforged update actually brings a lot of changes. Some of them you guys already seen in the video, but again, there will be many more that are not currently talked about. One of the things I want to say, we're gonna be releasing additional content about all the features or systems that we are touching to explain how they're gonna work, what would be the change of the new system, what's the difference from the old one. But we have been working on World of Tanks Blitz meta game for a while now. And there are some things that we did already. I don't know. We removed the repair cost. Why did we do that? Because that wasn't a part of the gameplay. We have been paying a lot of attention to economy because, previously in the higher tiers, you would get negative economy, you would go down in your credits. So we've been changing that and many other changes that we were doing to fix stuff that we think is broken. However, with these incremental updates, we could not change the most critical parts that we thought about. Again, we'll talk about the crew system, we'll explain why we changed it, but the main idea, the veteran players who has everything capped out, they would get 20 to 40% more performance in comparison to the newbies. So we had to do something with it. That state actually led to other problems such as turbo battles, unfair matchmaker, or at least the matchmaker was fair, but it was perceived as unfair. So we addressed that. With sets, again, we'll talk about the sets in the upcoming materials, but think about it. We have around 600 tanks in the game now. Every tank collects experience. So it's 600 different experiences in the game. And it leads to having things like free experience and a very complicated mechanism of how you progress in the game. For me, for our team, for old players, this mechanic is known. Like, we all got used to it. For new players, they clearly don't understand it.
So the concepts that we introduce in Reforged, that's not something that we came up this year or last year. These are the concepts that we've been thinking about, and some of them are 5 years old now. And as Thane said, with Unreal, we've been actually rebuilding the game. Our main focus was the battle. We think it's a gem of the World of Tanks Blitz, and we paid a lot of attention to keep the battle as is. But this update also gave us a chance to rework these systems that we came up with the designs a long time ago. And here it is. On Friday, you guys will have a chance to try it out. Again, we are super nervous, excited but nervous. We see the feedback, we see the comments. Some of them, I would say most of them, are not really positive right now. We acknowledge that. But again, we'll listen to it, we'll address that, and you'll see what we can do. And that's going to be a series of tests. It's not just, okay, we're listening it, you guys have what you have, and that's it. No, that's tests, and we want to do everything right.
Yeah, Andreas, so you've not discovered, but you've explained the system of sets like a little bit, and the simple and super obvious question in the chat is, why do we have tier 7 as a maximum now instead of tier 10?
Yep, there are a couple of reasons actually. One of them is the notorious update 5.5, when we removed a bunch of tanks. Some of them were not really tanks. They are
I just remember
vehicles.
this update.
Yeah. I mean, I remember this update as well. We wanted to reduce these number of tanks to allow for easier entrance to the game. As a result, we have seen that if we give people experience of the tier 4 from the beginning of the game, they actually like it more because they drive the tank, not MS1, but T-34 or Tiger. So we wanted new players to start with a tier 1 tank and progress further. So we kind of shifted the whole tier system 3 tiers below. However, we don't remove these tiers 1 through 3. We are shifting them to the new vintage tier, which will allow us, again, to help newbies and make a sound system when they start from tier 1 and progress further. And at the same time, we are going to get our tanks that were removed in 5.5 and put them into vintage set. So that allowed us to be free in the balancing. We really want to have these low tier tanks, have this fun element to them, because they have these weird guns, they have this weird kind of geometry. We want to have that in the game, but in the current setup, it was really, really hard to do that.
Just to avoid extra drama on the chat, because I see the comments right now, we are not removing the first, the second and the third tiers from the game entirely. So the vehicles will be just restructured, but we are trying our best to save 99.9% of the vehicles that we have currently in the game. So if we have tier 7 as a maximum, doesn't mean that the first, third tiers will be totally removed. Everything will be present in the game, no worries.
Yeah. All tanks that you have, they are not going anywhere. They will stay there. You'll be able to play them. So no cuts there.
Absolutely. So I know that on our Discord there was some leaks about the battle itself. Right now, our guys can see that the physics is better, the maps are looking differently, in better sense, of course. But there was some discussion about the ranked battles.
Yep, true. So right now, in current Blitz, your main game mode is random. So where our matchmaker gathers the battle based on what type of tanks is being played, and it tries to kind of balance the battle by that primarily, and of course the tiers of the tanks. Also, we have the ranked battles in current Blitz, which are not that popular. For multiple reasons, I don't want to stop on that. So what we're doing in Reforged is, I think it's quite simple. You're still gonna be able to play in random. This is gonna be your primary mode up until player level 30. I believe it's 30. And then only then the ranked battle would get unlocked. But the ranked battle themselves, how you progress there will change. So it's not gonna be just your one number and leagues. It's gonna be leagues. Inside the leagues, there would be divisions. There would be some support levels. There would be prizes when you reach certain league. So I think the ranked system became more rich. It's much more familiar for players. It's much more forgiving and interesting. At the same time, the random mode doesn't go anywhere. You can play it. The matchmaker would work differently than it is right now in current Blitz, because we changed the ranked mode system. At the same time, one of the things that we did not talk about a lot is, but that's actually going to influence matchmaker a lot, is that the fact that we are merging all our regions into one. So they will no longer be Europe, NA, and Asia. That's all going to be one big realm. And this will help matchmaker a lot. As I said, it will have a couple of new variables that it will take into consideration. And now you can play, say, geographically anywhere, regardless of where you are. So on Ultra Test, you can play in Brazil if you want.
Let's make things clear here as well. You've mentioned that we are merging the realms. That means that there will be
Yes.
one battle arena for all players. For example, if my account is on Europe, but Tony's account is on Asia, can we play one battle together?
Sure, definitely.
Okay.
You can be in one clan, you can be in one platoon, sure.
If I have two accounts, one on Europe and another is on North American region, will this account be merged into one?
I think that's a good question.
Andrei, you're thinking for a long time, or we've lost Andrei.
Seems like we have some minor inconveniences.
And we have a disco party on the map.
Okay, let's switch back to studio.
Yeah. Do you know the answer?
Do you?
I know. Yeah, so if, for example, I know that a lot of guys have these Twinks accounts, that's totally okay. And no, these accounts won't be merged into one big account. So, for example, if you have two accounts on different regions, they will remain as two different accounts.
Just on
So
one
no
same
worries.
big
Yeah.
region. We don't
Absolutely.
actually call it region anymore, right? It's like internally we call it single realm.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure what's the proper marketing name, but yeah, simple as that. So you won't lose
Players
anything.
call it differently, region, realm,
Yeah.
server. Yep. So yeah, that means that it's high time to call your mate from Brazil and invite to the platoon and play on one battle arena. I think that this is a really cool feature. What do you think about it? Let us know in the chat, because from what I know, we haven't discussed this topic yet. Pre-answering the possible questions about this feature, for example, if my nickname is also used on a different realm, will it be two Alexandra's Blitz then?
There can only be one Alexandra, right?
Yeah, so it's quite possible situation, but I believe that maybe a small addition of numbers will be added to the names with the possibility to pick a
To
different
change it
one.
later, yeah, once you log in.
Absolutely. But the feature itself sounds like a big step for us, and it will definitely help us with the queues, especially on the low tiers.
Yeah,
So,
that's gonna be already working with the start of Ultra Test this Friday. So there might be some minor, probably not very minor, but some sort of bugs with this system or something else. But we're doing this test specifically to stress test the system, to stress test all the features and balancing. So jump in and give it a try.
absolutely. I see the questions about the chat, the battle one. So as for now, we don't have the certain decision on this feature yet, but stay tuned. We will keep you posted as soon as we get any specific information about this topic, because I know that this one is kind of
It's a hot topic.
as well.
But I think
Yeah.
simple answer here is that for the Ultra Test one that starts this Friday, we won't have chats. But it's like, for now, it seems like a temporal thingy, right?
Absolutely. So also the chat is worried a lot about the optimization.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, this is one of the points that our next guest is able to cover. And maybe after that we can talk about it separately once we say goodbye to all our guests and leave it up to us.
Absolutely. First of all, it's important to say that we are still working on every aspect of the game.
Including optimization.
Including optimization,
Right.
yeah. So there was a pre-registration for the Ultra test for the Reforged update, and I saw also some comments like why the server is still not available, because these servers will be open on Friday.
Right.
How the guys who registered will receive the game itself.
Oh, you definitely won't miss it. So we'll use like two main channel of communications. If you're picked for the Ultra test, and spoiler alert, from what initially was planned, when we saw all the feedback, all the concerns from players, we decided to heavily expand the list of participants for the first Ultra test. So if you sign up like in early days after the announcement, like it's almost 100% chance that you will get enlisted. So, and if you get enlisted, you will receive an in-game notification, like a pop-up offer saying congratulations, you were picked for the Ultra test, with a link to the special page that has all the installation guides, links, everything you need to install the Ultra test build and start playing. And the same communication will be sent to you to your email that you used for registration. So in-game notification and email, both of them.
I see the questions about the game modes. Guys, we're still working on the Ultra test, not on the update. So on the Ultra test, not all the features will be present, but we know that you love game modes, and of course we will keep them. So our guest will join us pretty soon, and you are watching the gameplay on the Alpenstadt map with the physical-based render quality, with the better quality.
And an awesome bridge. Sorry, I
You like it?
called it myself.
You like it?
Yeah,
Really?
it's one of the best looking structures on our new maps, though there are a lot of these nice structures.
Yeah, it's a nice one. And I think it's important to mention that also all our vehicles will be in the physical-based render, so better visual quality as well. So, as we have already mentioned, the Reforged update test will start pretty soon on Friday. So make sure that you check your email, just in case, check the spam folder, in case the email from us will drop here, and take part in the Ultra test. We need your feedback. And you can see half of
That's
Pavel.
a magic that didn't happen.
Half of
Hello.
Pavel with us today.
Hey,
Hey guys,
nice to have you here.
Hi, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you here, not in the
Yeah, we know
story.
Pasha, we've met before a couple times maybe.
Yeah,
So you're a technical director.
I am. I'm
What does it
not
mean?
exactly. I'm a technical lead,
Technical lead.
of our game. Yeah.
Is it better than director or?
No, it's not that fancy as director, but still a lot of responsibilities, a lot of headache, and a lot of like decisions to make.
So before we proceed with the details, like Unreal stuff, like what's your area of responsibility so that players have like better context of like what you're responsible for?
Soon. My responsibility is very simple. I basically am responsible for the overall technical state of the game. So if you players experience some crashes, pings, high pings, I don't know, lags, you can blame me. It's my responsibility. And yeah, that's something like I wear on my shoulders. Heavy responsibility.
Okay, so maybe let's talk about the biggest thing, one of the biggest things of the Ultra Test of the Reforged update. So Unreal Engine 5, right?
Yeah.
This one. Why move to it? Why exactly Unreal Engine, not some other engine, for example? What it gives to us, what it gives to players?
Sure. And I think I'll give some context, some historical context to answer that. It will probably be a little bit long story, but bear with me. When we started to develop the game 13 years ago, our choice was very obvious. We chose our own engine because at those time, Unity, Unreal, any other third-party engines, as we call them, just had no proof record of high-fidelity games. I mean, mobile games, of course. So we chose our own engine, and then happened the mobile gaming boom, and engine developers were forced to optimize their engines. I mean, Unity and Unreal, of course, for mobile platform. So at some point, we found ourselves in a position when we had a pretty small team developing our own engine, and we needed to compete with huge teams behind those, Unreal, Unity, and stuff. And we were doing pretty well with some areas. For example, with optimization, we were pretty strong. But there was one specific area where we lagged behind, I would say, significantly, and it was tools. So tools is not something players face in the game, but tools is something that allows to build cool content, and that makes game fun.
So it's like backstage as players never see it, but still it has huge impact on what players see eventually.
Exactly, yeah. So these engines, like especially Unreal, had much better tools, and at some point, I think it was around 2019, when I was serving product owner role for tools team, so I was focusing on that. I found myself and the team frequently looking into other engines like Unreal and Unity just to copy some functionality to get what they already built. And at this point, at least I felt miserable because it's not fun at all to copy others' stuff. And that probably was the most significant value that Unreal brings to the game, this tool set. So when we decided to, it was 2022 when we were discussing moving to Unreal, and this idea of moving to other engine brought into my mind, because I'm responsible for the tech of the game, brought into my mind all these concerns about device compatibility and poor performance and bugs and crashes and ANRs on Android and everything.
Responding, right?
Yes, exactly. And also there were risks related to server deployment schema that needs to change because Unreal is not only client-side engine, it's also server-side engine. So it's both parts of the game. And we had on one side of the scales, we had all this huge pile of risks and concerns, while on the other we had much better tooling. Like Unreal is known in the industry as the best engine in terms of tooling. And it seems that we decided that it is worth to take all these risks to end up with the engine that will give the game this new, fresh ground and provide our team the tool set to deliver content which looks much better than before for years and years and years, because Unreal keeps improving, and you just, with a small team, you just can't keep up with that pace of improving your engine.
And now you have all the required tools at your disposal to actually keep providing content, new systems, new features, new cool things, right?
Sure, and that's what we already see in the Reforged update. But what is most important is that it's not ending here. It's not like we release the Reforged update and we see
it's only a start, right?
everything, that Unreal brings. No, as I said, these content like we bring in Reforged update will come with every update probably, and for years, and that's very important. And
so to put it like in a simple words, Unreal Engine allows for adding more content more easily than
I would say
compared
not
to
more, but this content just looks much better. So the
better
tools
quality,
for,
better visuals.
for VFX, tools for example, blueprint system that allows game designers to change gameplay without coding, and a lot of other stuff like tools for animation, tools for camera transitions. They have a lot of stuff.
Probably a simple example is like game modes. Unreal allows to create game modes more easy than like in-house engine that is like not very fit to it.
For sure. And also, I think this Forge experience that we have in our Reforged update, it's like the initial part of experience for newcomers, first user experience. It demonstrates the power of Unreal tools a lot. Like all these cinematic camera transitions, post effects like bloom, when you see those shiny parts of metal.
It's all engine rendered, right? It's not a...
For sure, yes. It's engine rendered. And also character animations. We don't have all of that in our current engine. So that's what Unreal brings.
That's all sounds very interesting, very complicated, and the players have one question.
Elephant in the room?
What are the technical requirements?
Optimization, yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, and that's for sure is a negative side of what Unreal brings to the game. And one of the most significant things is that UE5 does not support 32-bit architecture. And some Android devices, even recent, but like very low budget devices, still come with 32-bit OS. Even though they have 64-bit CPUs inside, vendors just install 32-bit OS for, I would say, for optimization reasons. And
in simple words, what does it mean for a player?
I think Pasha is getting there. Pasha's getting there.
Yeah, and it does mean that some old and some very cheap recent devices will not be able to run our updated game.
So maybe we can provide some couple. We know that, like, especially for Android devices, variety of devices is like crazy big.
Sure.
But maybe we can provide some like reference points. Like for iOS, I think it's like iPhone 7. If you have iPhone 7, you'll be able to launch Ultra Test and later the release itself without any problems. Not on the high-end graphic, obviously, but it's fine. And it's like 10-year-old iPhone, right?
Yeah. And for Android, it's not, as you said, it's very fragmented platform. It's not easy to provide this simple line where you can like check if your device fits or not. But you can easily check your device on this particular aspect if it's 32 or 64-bit using any benchmark application like Atutu or any other CPU-Z. Install it, and in the details you can find what if your device is 32 or 64-bit device. On the GPU side, we're trying to support, I would say, very low-budget GPU, mobile GPUs, like PowerVR 8320. It's the lowest end, I would say. We still struggle with optimization for this particular GPU, but we put a lot of effort and we'll try to make it playable on
So
this.
quick question here. So the optimization and performance we will see like starting Friday. Probably it's not like final one, right? We'll still do some polishing closer to release.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the main goals of the ultra test to identify these performance problems. And we built the analytics framework that every battle you play, we collect the data about your frame rate and send it to analytics, to our servers. Then we have a dashboard where we look and find the problematic devices. And also we'll look at your feedback and based on both sources, we'll prioritize issues and fix as much as we can. I can't promise we'll fix everything because Android devices are sometimes really problematic, but we'll do our best. And Epic Games is on our side supporting us, and I believe we'll do a lot of optimizations until release, and in general, game will be playable on very low-end devices.
So yeah, long story short, use whatever devices you have, right? So the more players we have, the more variety of devices we have, the more data we receive from those devices, the better is for like final release performance of the game wise.
For sure.
Right?
One more requirement for Autotest specifically, we recommend to use Android devices with not less than 4 GB of RAM. And that's something we'll optimize for release, and we plan to run on 3 GB devices as well. I mean, 3 GB RAM devices. But for Autotest, you can expect crashes if your device has less than 4 GB RAM.
I think 4 GB is like not very harsh requirement considering like 2025. So
For sure.
But for release it will be like even better.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to say to our players before we say thank you?
Come and play Autotest, participate, see what's improved in the game. I'm pretty sure you'll be amazed by the graphics if you have decent device. If you play on PC, it looks so much better than current Blitz. You'll be amazed for sure. Yeah, see you in battles.
Yeah, thank you, Pasha.
Thank you,
What's
guys.
your in-game name? How we
Nickname?
can find you in the battle?
Yeah, it's
Think
4.
twice before sharing.
I'm ready to share. 4PO. It's
Simple one.
You know,
Very simple.
Find Pasha if you have any bugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Pasha.
you.
And if you have any technical questions about the optimization, feel free to ask them. Maybe in the chat, maybe after the stream in the comments, maybe on Discord, and we will find Pasha to answer these questions, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We will
Absolutely.
find Pasha. That's the
So
key
thank you
idea.
so much, Pavel.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, okay. So Andrei hasn't finished his speech yet.
So let's.
He has something to
Yeah,
to
it's
add.
not finished.
Right. So while Andrei is joining us, I want to answer the
We have some specific question.
question that is kind of spammed in the chat is the question about the vehicles restoration. We understand your pain. We see the amount of comments on this topic. That's well heard and well taken. We will keep you posted about this feature and our further progress with it, and further actions. So please don't worry. The point is absolutely well taken.
So Andrei is ready.
Andrei is ready.
Okay, let's do this. Calling Cyprus. Hello.
Hi, Andrei. Yeah.
Oh, we hear you. Hello.
Oh, nice. I can hear you too, guys.
So what was that? Seems like you weren't too eager to answer the question. Just kidding.
No. We were discussing how you can play from Brazil and how terrible the ping would be for you. So apparently I tried to log in there and crashed from my stream.
Makes sense.
So you better play from Brazil on Brazil server.
Yep. So actually, I was reading the comments while Pasha was talking about the performance. Again, I think the most heated question that appears there all the time is about commanders. So again, Thane talked about the rationale and how we perceive the feedback about commanders. I wanted to talk a little bit why we are changing them and what players would need to expect from them.
Just one confirmation. Why we are changing the crew system into commanders, or why we are changing commanders?
Yeah, the crew system, okay. Whatever we have in current Blitz to commanders, right? So in retrospect, the current system, the current crew system, appeared in the game like long time ago, and currently it's 20 skills that players need to upgrade, and actually it takes years to fully cap your crew in the current Blitz, and that sort of game design leads to the fact that veteran players are getting an advantage over the new players, which can be, depending on the tank and depending on your playstyle, our measurements are around 20, maybe to 30%. So if you're a new player and you get into the battle with a veteran, you're doomed. Like you have no chance because of the crew system. On top of that, usually veteran players would have a fully capped tank with all the modules, all the equipment, the best consumables, plus the knowledge of the map, plus the pure skill. And our goal was to go to the more fair gameplay when your skill would matter much more than the accumulated performance of your tank. So that system, we've been thinking a lot about what we can do with it, and we came up with the concept of the commanders. Now, what is a commander? First of all, I urge you guys, before you make any conclusions, just go play Ultra Test when it's out and make your own opinion about that. But in general, what does commanders give you? First of all, it is variety, and second of all, it's simplicity. So in terms of variety, we plan to have several commanders, and all the commanders except one can drive the tank of a certain type. So one commander is for heavy tanks, the other one is for medium tanks, light tanks, TDs. So they all are tank time specific, except for Duncan, who is universal, and that's the first commander that every player gets. Now, we don't have commanders who are more powerful than the others. Like, all the commanders have the same relative power. And if you play a lot, or if you played a lot, what you would get is variety. You would get more commanders than the newbie, but you would not get this performance advantage. So newbies would relatively easily, relatively fast cap their first commander and play on the similar terms with veterans. Veterans, at the same time, they can pick a much more rare or much more, a commander who would add some really kind of hard to measure skill, hard to master skill, but that would bring more fun to the gameplay. Then another aspect of that is when you play on one tank and another player plays on the same tank, different commanders actually change the gameplay. Like playing on one commander, you may be better in the battle in the early stages of the battle when everyone is present on the map. With another commander, that player would be more powerful in the end of the battle. So we are getting into the meta of the battle, which is not possible right now in Blitz. So of course, we may encounter and see that, okay, this commander is much more OP than the other one, or this one is super nerfed. We plan to balance these commanders, looking at the stats, looking at the composition between the tank and the commander, and every patch will be changing the balance for them basically the same way as we do for tanks.
Andrei,
So-
players
Yeah.
say that Commanders is a totally pay-to-win story.
Yep. Again, first, please try it on Ultra test. Second, we don't want to make commanders pay to win. Again, as I said, all of them should be relatively equal in power. However, some people will have more commanders because they played more. Others will just have one. Maybe you would not even want another one. You have one, you cap Duncan, and that's it. That's all you need. No, we don't want to make pay-to-win mechanics with the commanders.
But can players get Commanders for free?
Sure.
Can players boost Commander for free?
Yes. Playing with the commander increases his level. He progresses, caps out, and that's it.
Thank you.
Anything interesting from chat?
Yeah.
Any other hot questions? Yeah.
Do you believe that Commanders is a fair story for the players?
Certainly. I think it's much more fair than the current system. And again, that's our priority, to keep commanders kind of like a secondary mechanic. Because again, World of Tanks is a game about tanks. We focus on tanks. Tanks should be the primary source of power, not some commanders. But they give this additional extra layer of variety and let you customize your experience. But again, we don't want to make commanders a central part of the game.
Do you plan to balance commanders in the battle? For example, if my commander is not upgraded, but Tony's commander is max leveled, and we are playing the same
You mean
battle.
in matchmaking, probably, right?
Yep.
Currently, in matchmaking, we don't take commander level as a variable, so we don't do that. We didn't plan to do that, but in future maybe. However, again, we designed the system in a way that the lowest the lowest level commander and the highest level commander would not have that high discrepancy in increased power as the current crew system. So. Yeah, if you have, it's always would be better to have a fully leveled up commander.
All the players that have been playing Blitz for years are asking about the crew speed that they have right now. So a lot of years, a lot of battles was spent to earn all the crew speed to fulfill the crew perks. What's going to happen with this?
Again, we are going to compensate and give some stuff that helps to level up commanders when your account gets transferred. And this is not only about your commander experience, but it's also about your elite experience on current tanks. Your credits is getting to the silver, your gold is getting to the gold. So that's one of the goals for the Ultra test, to see how the transfer process works. Find any bugs or whether we give too much or too little, and fix that during the test.
Okay, I think that in a few minutes we will with Tony show everything in the game,
Right.
so it will be much more clear. And as for now, the questions are repeating, so we have a small delay in the stream, and I believe that players will understand that Commanders is not a pay-to-win feature in the game, that you can get Commanders for free, you can upgrade them just for playing. And yes, we've heard that you think that Commanders are cartoonish. That's well taken.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Andrei. See you, and let's proceed with other features. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Not saying bye to players. We have a bunch of stuff ahead.
We have
Okay.
so many
We have
things.
so many. Yeah, guys, as you can see, we're having like 2 laptops on our tables, which probably never had happened before. Just saying like how much stuff we want to tell you today.
Oof, a lot.
Yeah.
So let's
Have a sip of water.
and let's repeat the way of
Conditions.
receiving the game client to take part in the test,
let's
please?
like a bit of organizational stuff before we proceed to the actual build. So for most of the guys who registered on our landing page, reforged.wotanksblitz.com, we will send, if you're picked for the ultra test, which is like very high chance that you will, on January 23rd, which is tomorrow, you will receive a notification in the game, like a pop-up screen with all the details and link to the external page that has all the builds. And the same stuff, you will receive it in the email that you have like used for registration during your account creation. So 2 ways, all the same. It doesn't matter which one you pick, like whether it's an email or an offer, you get to the same place where that has all the builds and installation guides. But servers won't be available till January 24. I think it's like midday Europe, if it makes sense. So yeah, you can start installing builds tomorrow, but you will have to wait till Friday to actually start playing. So please don't get stressed out about that. Another important thing, if you're picked, if you're enlisted for this ultra test, your account from current Blitz, let's call it current for sake of transparency, will be copied and transferred for the ultra test. It means that you will be able to preview all the tanks, resources, cosmetics transferred from Blitz current to ultra test, and like it will be like your first impression of the game to figure like if you're satisfied with it, if something's missing. Spoiler, some things might be missing because it's like the first ultra test. So if you see something's not right from the transfer perspective and any other, let us know in Discord, in surveys, in comments, wherever you feel suitable. What else? One last thing regarding this one.
How to log in?
How to log in? Yeah, great thing. Two more things. You will need to log in using your Wargaming credentials. So your email, your password that you use to log into the current Blitz. Otherwise, it won't work. And another thing, so I mentioned earlier that we're gonna copy your account from current Blitz and merge it to the ultra test. Whatever you do during the ultra test won't affect your main account. So you can do everything you like research new sets, spend gold, whatever you do, it doesn't affect your main account and current Blitz in any way. It's a test account because it's a test account, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So maybe during this weekend, let's create a room on Discord and let's make some countdown battles as we used to have some time ago. What do you think about it? Let's play together and let's show what do we have on the ultra test.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a change for our, let's say, initial structure, but let's show the transfer screen since we talked about it.
Absolutely, no
Sounds
worries.
Good?
Yeah, so since there were a lot of questions, what's going to happen with my tank? What's going to happen with my camo? What's going to happen with my avatar? Let's sort it out. Tony, please share your screen and let's check.
Yeah, we can turn on my tablet whenever you're ready. So you will see the next screen while I press this button. You'll see, it's the first thing you'll see once you log into the game on Friday. So it's a nice animation that shows everything, like probably not everything, but the major changes, major transferred items, major compensated items from current Blitz accounts to ultra test accounts. So let's get back. So what we can see, 205 tanks, all transferred. Nation progress, so it will have like more details described in the corresponding articles, but now just more of a visualization. In terms of credits, I even get a little bit more, probably some part of compensation. Actually, Alexandra's doing the same, you just can see it. The gold, same, I had like 213,000 gold, but now it's...
You received some more, yeah, that's for some charms, some chests probably in the storage, but again, that's only the ultra test story. We are not talking about release right now, so if you feel that something is wrong, something is lacking during this test, let us know, please. That's very important.
That's, again, I think we'll be mentioning it a lot today, but let's do it still. Something can be broken in terms of balance, in terms of bugs, in terms of, well, technically everything. So if you see that something's not working as you see fit, or if like you believe it's broken or something like this, let us know. Yeah, next one, free XP. I had like 1.5 million. It's transferred into special data cards, like common ones and rare ones. Say basically it's a similar thing that is in current Blitz, but for Ultra Test and Reforged update, it is used to progress your sets to get more tanks.
Absolutely.
Player stats will show some player stats screens, but those are not final yet. As Andrei mentioned, and probably Tane also mentioned, so the win rate, it probably is like not fully in the place that we want it to be up or closer to release. So yeah, just keep it in mind. Clans, cosmetics. Again, spoiler here, in this current build, the cosmetics part, I put it roughly, it's a bit broken. So it doesn't display all your skins, all your like customization items in a right way. So if you see something missing, you can still report it, but we already know about it. So it will be fixed closer to the like second phase of the Ultra Test. Same for boosters. They will be exchanging commander coins, which can be used during transfer events. The activities that will allow you to change your like excessive resources from current Blitz into something that is like valuable in the Ultra Test, in the Reforged update. And that's it. So as I said, you will see the screen whenever you launch this build for the first time. But you can also call it at any times by pressing this widget on the left, learn more about the update, then economy and items, and then property transfer. And you can like see this animation, take screenshots, share with friends, discuss it, whatever you fit.
Yeah.
Feel free.
So the question in the chat: can I still play in the World of Tanks Blitz game that we have right now?
It's a great question, actually. Answer is yes.
Take part in the Ultra Test as well.
Yes, so you can use same device. So I have this iPad. I can play Ultra Test here, and I can still play current Blitz. Two apps can like live simultaneously on one device, so no need to delete anything. You can play both.
Yeah. So we slightly move into to the next big topic that we have partially covered with the developers and with the studio leaders. We are going to the sets. So according to the amount of questions in the live chat right now, the main question is, do I keep all my tanks? Yes, the logic of the upcoming Ultra Test is the following. If you have the tank in the garage right now, then you will have this tank in the garage in the Ultra Test game client as well.
Right.
It's clear. What if my tank is researched but not purchased? During this Ultra Test, this tank won't be present in the game client. Let us know what do you think about it. If you feel that the structure should be different, please let us know, test it, and send us feedback after. But as for now, the logic is simple. If you have the tank in the garage, you have it on the Ultra Test as well. Could you show us the interface of the sets?
Yep, we can see it right now.
So let's start from the garage. And where is the button, how to find sets?
Yes, so the main, actually, yeah, we can touch UI a bit here. So as you can see, all the main icons, all the main buttons, they shifted from the left part of the screen to the upper part of the screen. I think it will get some time to get used to, but it's a more modern approach.
Absolutely. Just not to forget, the question from the chat: if I spend gold or credits in the test, it won't affect the current Blitz account?
It won't. You can spend all you want during the Ultra Test on your test account. It won't affect your main account.
And just in case, if we have the upcoming tests, will it be the same account?
So I'll get a little backtracking here. So it's not set in stone, but for the second phase and for so on, we'll probably our plan is to open doors for everyone. So probably registration won't be so fussy. So yeah, you will still use your for gaming account to log in. Short answer. Okay, so sets. You can see like sets is the second button to the right with tanks. Surprisingly.
Okay, so what the set is? Set is a group of tanks that is united by the gameplay, by the lore story, by the type of the vehicle, by the class of the tank. Different characteristics unite tanks in different groups. Set is a small group of vehicles that is united by one definite parameter.
Maybe several.
Maybe several, yeah,
but
absolutely.
As opposed to current approach, they're not divided by nations. Sometimes it's still like tanks, mostly tanks of the same nation, but it's not like a must-have rule in set situation.
Yeah, so right now in the game we have around 80 sets.
80, not 70. That's all. 80, right?
From
Lot,
70
guys.
to 80.
Quite a lot.
Let's take one in the test and count them. So, these sets might be either locked or unlocked. How does it work? If you have a researchable vehicle from our national trees from the tech lines, if you have this vehicle in the garage, then this vehicle unlocks you the set. If you have a premium or collector tank, it will be transferred and will be available for the game, but this tank is not unlocking this set. Again, that's the plan for the ultra test. Let us know if you find it necessary and obligatory to unlock the sets with the premium collector tanks, or it's still comfortable for you just to take this vehicle and play with it. How to unlock sets?
I'm just enjoying all the screens, sorry. So, to explain how to unlock sets, actually I just wanted to mention one thing that I think it's like a killer feature in a good way of sets.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. So, with the tech trees, you need to play on each and every tank of the tech tree to progress till the end, till the tier 10.
Absolutely.
Right? In set
Or
situation...
you can use for XP.
Or for XP, but come on, it's very valuable and hard to earn currency. With sets, what you can do, for example, not this one because it's mostly consists of collector tanks, for example, this one. So I have like one or two favorite tanks within one set that are located in the middle of the set, but obviously I want to progress till the end of the set. What I can do, if I don't like some of the tanks, for some reasons, I don't know, I don't like it. If I don't like some of the tanks within the set, I can skip them and progress the set by playing like one tank of the set. So for example, seven tanks in the set. I like tier 5 and 6, but I don't like tier 3, for example. I can play only like those tiers that I like and skip all the others just by progressing them. It's kind of like using free XP without using free XP.
Oh, okay. I get it. And so you can just play your favorite vehicles.
Right, and progress till the end of the set and get all the perks from unlocking the set, because you do get perks for unlocking sets.
Okay, yeah.
So whenever you unlock set, not unlock set, whenever you progress the level of the set, you get special items that you can use to boost your player level.
Player level, that's something new to WoT of Tanks Blitz. What does it mean?
So player level, it's a scene that, oh, I have a pretty high player level. Let me scroll to the very beginning. So it serves several goals. For the new players, it allows them to open new mechanics and new systems of the game gradually. So whenever they get new level, for example, on level 3, your player will open task journal. On level 6 of player level, players will unlock 7 versus 7 mode, etc., etc. It keeps going like this for some time. We have credits, we have like new sets, clans at player level 17, etc., etc. But for like current players, for experienced guys, for veterans, it's not that relevant because you will probably skip higher than player level 100. So the player level will be your main source of set keys. Keys that are used to unlock sets, allowing you to progress through those sets. So it's kind of closed system that you progress set, you get these. Actually, do you remember how they're called? These pink items? I forgot the word.
XP?
XP.
XP.
XP. Yeah, I thought it would go something more fancy. So yeah, you get XP from grinding through your sets. You use that XP to actually progress player level, and you get keys from player level to open more sets.
As you can see, that's for free. You don't need to pay any money.
I know it sounds
gold.
complicated. Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah.
I know it sounds complicated, but yet one another time we're asking you to install the build and try this on your own. Because like for now, watching the stream, listening to me trying to explain it, I do understand that it might sound complicated, but please give it a try and see how it works for you. If you like it, if you don't like something, just tell us and we'll see what we can do about it.
Yeah, so the question from the chat, keys to unlock tanks per set or a set?
Set.
Yeah, use these keys to unlock the whole set with a bunch of tanks inside this set. So, a few concerns that you might have seen this new feature in World of Tanks Blitz. First of all, I don't like it. That's okay. Again, let us know your feedback after you're trying it, because something new might be frightening, might look strange. You might not like it even after trying. That's totally okay. Please send us your feedback. Another concern is it's completely not understandable how to find my favorite vehicle. For this concern, we have the search option. In this search option, there are a few ways how to find the vehicles, the sets, the necessary tier, or whatever you want to find there. So, Tony, for example, you have your favorite tank, Death Star. I think that we can show how to find the set where this tank is and how to find the tank itself.
Does the search already working?
Of course.
Oh, but so.
Yep. You can see
simple
on
as
the
that.
top of the
I
set.
know the name of the tank. Unfortunately, you can't search by Death Star for obvious reasons, but you can search by official name.
Maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that probably should go to the roadmap of ideas at some point. So yeah, what I was saying. So yeah, I know how the official name of the tank sounds. FV183B. I just type 183 and I already see the set right away that actually have this tank.
Yeah, and in the set you can see that the vehicles are quite common in terms of gameplay. They are similar. So you can see the tank destroyers, you can see that they are British.
Actually, this set is one of the examples of the cases when sets actually look quite the same to the tech trees. So the British tank destroyer tech tree kind of looks similar, but like there are several cases, and this is one of them. But in most cases, we still had to mix tanks from different nations, which are like not a biggest priority in terms of sorting tanks into sets right now. And now we're focusing, as Alexandra mentioned, more on gameplay, on features, on like overall feeling of the tank that makes them into one set.
Yeah, I just saw the FV4005 in my garage with the beautiful legendary skin. So, talking about the flags. You
still have them.
Yeah, you still have them. You still can check which nation this tank vehicle belongs to. Let us know what you think about it as well.
So still here with KPZ 50T, still a German tank.
Yeah,
And you can
still German?
Yep.
Okay, so another topic, how to filter, how to sort your tanks in the garage. We do keep the filter settings, so you can still pick the tanks that you want don't want to play oftenly. You can still pick your favorite ones by double tapping on the tank. You can still filter them by the tier, class or type. So the logic is pretty familiar to you guys, and I think it's pretty simple. What else? Let's check. Are there any questions in the chat? So far, no questions about it.
Okay,
I saw
we
one
can
positive
proceed.
comment about the search option. Yeah.
Yeah, search is working. We just checked it based on like Death Star experience. But do not search by Death Star, at least for now.
At least for now, yeah. Once again, there was a question about the tanks that were researched but not purchased. What's going to happen to them? They're going to be researched but not purchased in the update as well. If you have the tank in the garage, then you have this tank on the ultra test as well. Now we have this logic. Again, we're super open to discussions. Leave us your feedback after you try the ultra test and after you play a bunch of battles and after you try all these new features and settings by yourself. This personal experience feedback is very valuable for us, so please feel free. And let's move on.
Yeah, I think we still have some topics to cover in the base, at the base.
At the base, yeah.
Actually now we call this thing not garage but base, but we'll get to that later. Maybe we can switch to training room and show some like, you know, enhanced experience. I know that we showed some gameplay during our earlier speakers, but now we can like discuss some specific thing that you may or may not have missed earlier. Okay.
Actually,
you're going to create?
Yeah. Coming back to one of the questions on our live chat about the training rooms. The training rooms will be available during the ultra test, but to run the battle in the training room, you need a friend. So at
That's
least two.
story of my life, said one.
You have a dog and a wife. That's okay.
2 friends, wow, nice.
Yeah,
what about you?
And me.
Okay, 4 friends.
Yeah. So, to launch the battle in the training room on the ultra test, you need at least 2 people being present in the training room. You still can pick the battle type, you can still pick the map, you can still set the password and set the friendly fire in the training room. So, enjoy it. But if you create content, please make sure that you record your screen, because during this ultra test, unfortunately, replays won't be available. They're still work in progress. So make sure that you record the screen if you make some cool content for TikTok or YouTube or Instagram. Which map you'd like to pick for this battle?
I think
Dead Rail.
we wanted to start with Dead Rail.
I want to start with Dead Rail.
Yeah, to show some snow falling off the roofs.
That's the goal.
I think we're gonna create our own room, right?
I have already created.
Is it yours?
Now that's Ron's. Ron, shout out to you for playing battles with the team of our super testers. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I joined your room.
Yep, so you can see that the interface of the training rooms is updated. But the mechanics are still the same. We keep them. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. Nice to know. I'm ready too. Karo, do you want to play Karo? It's okay.
Pick any tank, just similar level. Taking your time. Yeah, we're loading. And here you can see the new loading screen. Obviously, you have a full list of teams on the left and on the right here, but now it's only me and Alex.
But you've picked Canal?
Was it me? It was your training room.
It was me.
So you picked Canal.
I
It's
picked
fine.
Canal.
It's fine.
That's a
you know what
beautiful
we
map.
can do? We can start with showing physics, because Canal is perfect for showing new physics.
That's an amazingly beautiful map. This map was updated so much in terms of graphics. You will enjoy it 100%. Let us know what you think about the maps in general and about this particular as well, because I know that Canal is one of the favorite maps for our esportsmen. So maybe.
I think it's one of the like hardest to play, but some of the most like interesting in terms of like
Absolutely.
the scenarios, the situations that you can get. You want to start fighting?
No.
I'm not about fighting. I'm about driving.
Okay.
It's a peaceful training room, Alex.
Show us the map behind the red line.
It's crazy good. You know, I can't even say that it's look like something behind the red line. So much details. Something that we've never seen before.
Boys and girls, attention please.
Ouch!
We
Stop shooting at me.
have removed the invisible walls on the maps. So huge respect to the level design team. You have been asking for this for a very long time. Now we don't have any invisible walls, and you can definitely enjoy the interesting places to win the battles in the Reforged update, at least on the Ultra test. So again, let us know what you think about this availability. Is it fair? Is it interesting? Is it hot for you to take risks and check these places? But we believe that that's going to be funny. So as you can see, the map is in the physical based render quality. It's very beautiful. It's kind of realistic, I would say, because it's just amazing. I like it very much.
Yeah, it's pure emotions.
How are you doing?
For the Ultra test, we're going to deliver 12 maps, all in similar quality, so you can expect 12 maps. Should I read all the list, or maybe for the sake of some guys might want to know?
I think that guys will check it on Friday, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, so 12 maps, no more, no less. For the Ultra test, obviously we'll have more. Again, for the Ultra test, we won't introduce new maps, only maps that were present in current Blitz, but just fully reworked in new quality, with new areas to explore, like I'm doing right now. So important thing to mention that Alex already said, no invisible walls. So technically, if you get help, or you can drive everywhere aside from like crossing the red line. And another thing, it's working together with the first bullet, is that you actually, so it's like with the new physics, you can technically drive anywhere as soon as like your engine power and track ability, I forgot the word, sorry, allows you. Or if it's like you have a friend or a platoon mate to actually push you somewhere to the new reaches. Literally.
Tony, let's check the bridge and let's make some show. Because players asking about the tanks being flipped. And as we have already mentioned with Pavel especially, Unreal Engine allows us to make some magic with the tanks, and the tanks can be flipped.
Yeah, so I think it's the main thing, the first thing you probably notice with the new physics, but it's not the only one. So the current physics in current Blitz, it's very much simplified. All the calculations are like very simple, and they don't allow for some like interesting situations, let's put it this way. With the physics engine here, within the Unreal Engine, you actually do some crazy stuff. Like, I'll just try to flip over. Stop shooting at me, I'll die. Whee! Boom, I flipped. And now we also added, it's like, we know it's not realistic, but we did it intentionally. If you flip on your turret, like in a second or two, you get flipped on your back on your tracks automatically to, to keep the gameplay fun, right?
Yeah, and please check the water. That's amazingly beautiful.
Ooh.
The
Looks like
quality of the
reflections.
maps, you will enjoy it 100%. So just try. Let's play some battles, and again, I invite you to play together during our weekend. So let's test it together.
I'll probably die, but I'll still do it, right?
You want to
Whee! Boom!
commit it?
Defeat.
Okay, self-destroyment. Right, so I see the question, and I think we can answer it really quickly about the common realm. Could you please show us the screen with it? Because players are asking about the ping.
Give me a sec, let me quit the training room so I can do it properly. leave room. So yeah, we can turn on my tablet again. Thank you. So under the battle button, you see the gray button that says Ranked. It's a button that allows you to switch between modes, obviously. And here you can see the big cards that represent each of the game modes. We'll obviously have more. We'll deliver some of them to the ultra test, some of them for the release, and some of them probably post-release, but we'll get to that later. You can see a button in the lower left corner, which is called Server Auto Select. And here you can see the servers that are available for me and for you. They will be also available. It's always recommended to pick Auto Select, but if for some reason you need to switch it manually, you can do it.
Yeah, you can see that we have a bunch of options. The best one will be highlighted with the green color.
Yeah, and they will be up in the list for easier selection.
Cool. That's very cool.
Okay, so
like
we
this
touched
idea.
maps a bit.
Fatness, we'll play together now.
We play together now? Where?
I mean, on the one battle arena, because Fatness is from the NA server and I'm from Europe.
Absolutely,
And
yes.
now we can play together. That's very cool. So, you've showed ranked battles.
Yep,
Let's discuss a bit.
let's discuss.
What does it mean for the player? What are the main differences? What is in common with the current rating system that we have in the game, and what was different?
So, I think Andrei touched a little bit of it.
Kind of.
So the key thing here is that ranked battles, in our idea, it is a nice mix of good sides from both random battles and rating battles from current Blitz. So it's less random and more structured than random battles, but it's also less challenging but more rewarding than current rating battles. So we kind of trying to blend both, taking best from both of types, because we do understand that random battle in current Blitz is too unpredictable. Turbo wins and not only wins, unpredictable team composition in terms of player skill level. Sorry. So with the ranked battles, we're addressing this. What else do we want to mention regarding ranked battles? As I said, it's much more rewarding than current rating battles and obviously random battles. In the Ultra Test with the Reforged release, ranked battles will also remain more beneficial in terms of economy for US players compared to random battles, which are also staying in the game, but they have less our focus right now in terms of not being the primary game mode anymore. Okay, what else regarding the rating stuff?
And the most important thing is that you need to click choose after you pick random or rating. It's kind of new feature, might be not really clear from the very beginning, but once you see it, once you feel it, once you experience it, it will be, I think, automatically for you. So let's show the interface of the ranked battles, and let's make the goal for us where we should be, in which league, in which division.
Click it through.
So if you click the ranked battle just below the battle button, you will see that here we have ranked, random, and tanks. For example, we want to know more about ranked battles. We click learn more.
Yep.
Absolutely clear. Here you can see a short description of the ranked battles system.
Ignore some of the UI issues. Obviously, Ultra Test early build.
Absolutely. Then you click next. You can see the possible divisions that you can be in. If you click next, you can see the rewards for the divisions and for the leagues where you appear. So, one very important moment about the ranked battles. if you reach this certain league and certain division, you cannot drop down. You may lose some battles, but you cannot be in the lower league than you have already reached. For example, you have reached Diamond League, but after you faced a few losses. Does it mean that you will go to the Gold League?
No, you will want to drop out of your league. You
Absolutely.
can go back down in divisions, but
Yep.
not in leagues.
Absolutely. So if you're in Diamond, then you can go only up, only better, stronger, and in the battle leagues. So what do you think again about this idea? Let us know. But I think that this system must be tried because it's kind of complicated to explain in words. Something that should be played. So we invite you to our ultra test. Please, let's play together and let's discuss after you played. But seems like fun.
Seems like fun.
Random battles are still available for you. No worries
They're not
here.
that profitable as ranked battles.
Yeah, but still available because I saw again
Absolutely.
some questions. So Tony, I will check the chat and
I can talk about commanders.
you can talk about the commanders.
Okay, so we've talked about them quite a bit with our guests. So now let's just, we started with high-level vision, reasons behind, like, again, I want to highlight that this is like work-in-progress feature. We do understand that it raises some concerns from you guys, and we're ready to hear you and work together with you, like, to get you better feature that you guys like. But for now, let's consider how it's currently implemented, specifically for the Ultra Test 1. So let's dive deeper, let's take a look, and you can use this knowledge to actually better understand them once you download the builds and start playing on this Friday. So again, commander screen, the very first white button on the left with the human icon. So here you can see that Anthony Cole is my currently selected commander.
Why did Tony pick this exact commander?
I have no idea.
Me neither. What do you think?
Zero ideas. Mr. Cole has a dog. That dog does not affect gameplay in any way. It's just here for being nice, fluffy, good boy, right? Actually, one more thing regarding like appearing, not appearing. Commanders do not, as you've probably seen, but just let's reestablish this. Commanders do not appear in the battle. You can only hear their voices, see their small icon in the UI, and feel the the weight, the importance of their skills. But they're not driving tanks. That scene in teaser was like just a.
But you can hear the commander voiceover during the battle, and I saw some questions and some comments about it. Will it be possible to switch from the commander voiceover in the battle to the national crew voices? As for the test, this feature is not available, but it's again well taken and well heard. I think it's kind of possible to ask our development to consider
definitely. We'll
this
discuss
idea.
it. We'll take a look at the feedback, the amount of like concerns players have specifically regarding this feature. So yeah, our approach remains the same.
The chat is thinking about the name for the Cole's dog.
Go ahead, shoot it. Anything cool?
Not yet, but
Okay.
Just
take your time, guys.
yeah. Start
Let
off
me
with
just quickly describe what's going on here. So we have a list of commanders on the bottom. Currently, I have selected Cole because I was driving German KPZ 50T, the medium tank, one of the best in the game to my taste. And Mr. Cole is specifically a medium tanks commander, meaning that he can only be applied and installed on medium tanks. Actually, currently, all of the commanders that are present here, except for one, can be only assigned to a specific tank class. And we also have Duncan, which is the very first commander that everyone will receive, including you guys, veteran players and new players. And he is like a versatile guy. He can drive any tank class, as you can see in the upper left corner. But let's get back to Mr. Cole. So commanders have 2 perks each. They are all different. They're all passive, not perks. I should stop saying perks. It's skills.
Skills.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Commanders each have 2 skills, and all of them are passive, meaning there is no button to trigger them, but they trigger automatically based on certain condition in the battle that you can actually read right here on the screen. So in terms of Cole, he has 2 perks. One is like the perk that increase his reload speed after like he tracks the enemy tank, and it actually can be increased from 4 to 12% and from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. It can all be read in the description. The other perk increases his tank, the tank that Cole is actually controlling, movement speed like from 3 to 10% depending on the level perk. So you might ask, how do I level perks? You can do it by surprise participating in battles or using special, I think they're called books, right?
Yeah.
Commander books. You will get a lot of this stuff from the transfer event, which we will discuss sometime later, I guess.
Yeah. So to make things clear, in the current version of World of Tanks Blitz, we have crew perks. You have spent a lot of time and a lot of battles to upgrade these crew perks to maximum. All these crew XP will be saved and transferred to the Ultra test, but it will have different name and it will have different numbers. But using this crew XP that we used to have in the World of Tanks Blitz, you can upgrade the commanders. Nothing is lost. Commanders can be gained for free. You will have from the very beginning a few free commanders in your garage. You can get 1 free commander during this transfer event, where you will get known with the new currencies, with the new proxies that we will have in the Reforged update, and where you can exchange this crew XP into the stuff that will be useful for your commanders. Everything is saved, everything is safely transferred, and you can use it to upgrade commander and his skills.
Right. I was just clicking through all the upgrade, level up stuff while you were talking. Okay, so yeah, again, please try them, please equip your commanders, put them on your tanks, see how the perk work, skills work, see how the leveling up works. So for now, as I was told by some of our game designers, their skills are probably a little bit too high in terms of power, but we still want to see how it performs. So nothing here is final. It will be all tuned, like all the balance stuff, all the visual stuff. So please let us know what you think, but please do it after you actually try it on your own.
Yep, very appreciated. The question from the chat.
Go ahead.
Are we able to ride without a commander installed?
Nope, that won't be possible. You still need a commander to control technically your tank. But you won't, in any scenario, you won't end up in a situation where you don't have a commander to equip. And I think, probably obvious, but still want to highlight it. For example, I'm using Cole, I'm driving KPZ-50T, I get killed in the battle, and I want to play E50M, another medium tank. I can still equip Cole on this tank. So Cole is not sitting in one specific tank, and you don't need to wait for battle to end to actually equip Cole to another medium tank.
And the commander is not part of the crew.
Yep.
It cannot be damaged.
Invisible?
One commander can be used for a few vehicles. That's absolutely clear. Another question from the chat about the pay to win or free to use. On the Ultra test, all the commanders will be free for you. Please try the mechanics, check them, let us know what you think. Maybe you will like it after you try. Maybe you will like the idea, but you think that it should be slightly different or completely different. Please share your feedback. And again, we got your point about the visuals. Thank you so much for reminding me about this in the chat.
Yeah, that's a really good point,
But
actually.
I remember about it. So, what else is not covered?
I think economy, we can touch it a bit and then wind up.
Yep.
There is a lot more to cover, guys, but we still have like a limited time. And I don't think this is gonna be the last stream. We'll have some more, maybe it's gonna be a stream, a video, an article, maybe everything together. So we'll keep like giving you all the details you need to know, to understand, to like spend your time effectively with the ultra test. Having fun, obviously, and also helping us to shape the future, how we all want to look good. So, economy. So the main thing, credits are now called silver.
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing.
The main
Right.
thing is that all your property is safe and sound and will be present in the game client during the ultra test. That's the most important thing.
Right. What else? Quick thing, you don't have to pay for... You can show my screen right now.
Thank you.
You don't have to pay for shells.
Free shells.
Basic shells, like regular ones, like armor piercing and high explosives, they become unlimited. So it's another like cool balancing thing that we are changing. So for the tanks that had limited shell capacity in current Blitz, it won't be a case in Ultra Test in Reforged update. You still need to purchase premium shells with additional penetration values, but with Ultra Test and with Reforged update, you won't be able to spend gold on it, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
And you can spend all the resources that you have on your Ultra Test account. It won't affect the amount of resources on your main account in World of Tanks Blitz. No worries here. Feel free to spend all your gold and silver here and there. No problem at all.
Yeah, really important thing that's like not joking around, but the silver will become probably more important than credits in World of Tanks Blitz current. You'll understand why once you start playing and start spending it and start receiving it. And regarding the receiving part, what we also changed, introducing like a new approach, silver will be now earned based on your achievements in the battle, ribbons and medals. So for example, I think I can show it here. So I just selected Lorraine 40T, I pressed this small icon, and it says profitability. So here it says that it's a premium tank, and this tank will earn you silver for the 7 best achievements in battle. And it also gives you like increased by 80% rewards in ranked battles in terms of silver by 80%. Let's take a look at battle results. Probably it should be shown. History. So this is the battle that was played with bots and some of our contributors. Earlier today or maybe yesterday. So here you can see like how it's. Oh no, stop! I want to see the first screen. How the amount of silver I get is calculated. So since 50B is just a regular tank, like not a collector or premium, it only takes into account three best achievements of the game, 3 ribbons or medals correspondingly. Here you can see that these 3 are selected as a reference point to actually calculate the silver. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Actually, that's kind of transparent and very understandable to see the amount of silver that you receive for each.
So in current Blitz, it's based on
medal,
your performance in the battle that is like displayed through XP that you get from the battle. It's something that our players kinda used to, especially veteran ones, experienced one, but it's still not very like transparent system to handle. Now
so the question in the chat, will the premium vehicles still save the opportunity to farm more silver than a regular
yes,
researchable
absolutely.
tank?
And I had a chat with one of our lead game designers earlier today, and he said that for now, for the Ultra Test, some of the, like actually most of the premium tanks are actually farming even better than they do it currently in Blitz.
Time to get some silver.
Time to get some, yep.
Okay, nice to know. A few more general questions about the Ultra test, about the ways to receive the game client and how to log in. So, starting from tomorrow, we will be sending the invitations to the Ultra test via email. Also, we will use our game to invite you to the Ultra test if you have registered. Popular questions. If I have registered for the mobile test, but I want to take part on PC, will it be possible?
Absolutely. So the small survey that you actually was asked to like pick one of the options to, it's specifically for like internal use to understand like how many players approximately we will get from each of the three platforms. But when you get the instructions to install the build, all the guides, all the links, you will have all of them. So you can select whether to play on Steam, whether to play on Android device or iOS device. I think we haven't mentioned it during this stream. So for the Ultra test, only these three platforms will be supported. But closer to the release, once the Reforged update releases, we will support all the platforms that we are currently supporting. But for the Ultra test, it's only iOS, not macOS, iOS, Android, and Windows Steam.
Yep, so for iOS, we will be using TestFlight.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. So you need to install additional app, but it's pretty easy.
Okay.
So you'll get it in the guide, so don't worry about it.
Cool. Another question that I also saw in the chat, how to log in? Can I use my Facebook account or Steam account to log in? Unfortunately,
For now,
no.
only for gaming credentials,
Yeah.
like email, password that you use to log in. So that is why during the registration, you might recall that we ask you to make sure that you have that for gaming login, because it's the only way that you can log into the Ultra test build.
Question from the chat. If I have registered for the Ultra test, is it guaranteed that I will be taking part in it?
We can't guarantee it, but it's like very high chance, like extremely high chance.
So, we'll have a lot of people.
Yeah, we'll have quite a lot of people.
Okay, that's nice to know. Then, see you on the battlefield, on the Ultra test.
Sorry for dropping. And even if by unlucky chance you don't get to the first Ultra test, we'll have more, and most likely those will have like almost fully open access, so you'll have opportunity to participate then.
Yeah, and again, all the resources that you will have on your Ultra test account are yours. You can use it, you can spend them without any worries, because these are different resources. It won't affect your existing account on World of Tanks Blitz game client anyhow. So feel free, make some crazy purchases. Why not? Yeah, make some noise and test it in a full swing. We need your feedback, so please let's do it together.
Okay, I think we're good for today.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's more stuff to cover, but we'll do it like in our next series of communications. So guys, we would like to thank you a lot for you being so, so caring about the game. We do see a lot of feedback. We do understand that quite a big part of it is negative feedback. We do understand it. We do understand that we made some poor choices along the way during the announcement, as Thane mentioned. We're extremely eager to fix this all together with you guys. So play the game, give us a chance, and let us know what you think after you actually experience this Ultra test build on your own. And we'll be very excited to hear from you, all of your feedbacks that you can.
Absolutely. So it's a great chance to make World of Tanks Blitz update together, to make it the way you want to get it, because this game is for you and you are playing it together with us. We thank you so much for the stream. That was very complicated, won't lie, and see you on Discord. We are there for you for all the weekend, for all the tests. We are ready to answer all your questions and to give the clarifications where there is some uncertainty. Please let us know. If you need another stream with explanations or Q&A,
we'll get
let
it done,
us know.
no worries.
Yeah, absolutely. We are here for you. We love you. We thank you so much.
See you on the Ultra
See you on the Ultra Test. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.